Now, the table is always hot with current events and social issues, but sometimes the heat can get a little intense. Let's turn the temp down, take a breather, and get into this week's topic cool down. So, Andre, I wanted to ask you, what are your content creation icks? And are there any styles of videos that you would never do?
Um, I have several content creation icks that will instantly get you blocked without hesitation. But for the purpose of time, I'll narrow it down to about four main ones. The first is any type of video where people are doing like religious content, like Jesus videos, tarot readings, spirituality. It's an automatic no for me. Like, I respect everyone's right to believe whatever they want to believe, but I have a serious issue with people who claim that their faith is the only way to quote unquote salvation, or people who claim that they can see the future, or people who claim they can fix your whole life with a few crystals and a choice few spells. Like, and why do I have an issue with those videos, you might ask? Because usually they have a fee attached to them. So it's a fuck no for me. So the second type of content is any type of food waste videos. Usually it's the people who are making ridiculously large portion sizes of food that they don't eat for a joke, or the people who make those Sundays in the toilets and such like that. Like, it's giving, you're trying to get views and likes in the most desperate way possible, and I'm not here for it. The third type is any kind of overindulgence videos. That's the ones where rich people are just showing you them being rich. And the last type of video, which Daquon and I have talked about at length outside of the show, is any type of video where people are recording themselves feeding the unhoused or giving them money. We can do a whole episode on why those types of videos are problematic, but in short, if you have to record yourself doing a nice thing for someone in need, then are you really doing something nice, or do you just want the praise of people telling you how kind you are while also making money off of someone's suffering? Like, it's not cute. And as for the other part of the question, as to what styles of videos would I never do, see aforementioned. But Daquan, what about you?
You know, we align so much because, I don't subscribe to a lot of, spiritual content a lot of the times. I respect anybody's beliefs as long as it's
Absolutely.
not hurting another person. That's
Mm-hmm.
fine. But I think that a lot of those videos come at a point of exploiting people who are going through pain and trauma and saying
Exactly.
certain things that are just going to resonate with a whole lot of people who are struggling with a lot of things, so that they come to you and you give them a little bit for free. You give them maybe a little bit on a live, but then you push them to that link in the bio to get your paid services. Another content creation ick that I have, just like you don't like food waste videos, I don't like makeup waste videos. The videos where somebody dumps an entire bottle of foundation in their hands and just like rubs it
Oh, I see
in
what you're
your
saying. I got you
face
now.
and like
Yeah, like the 100
doing
coats
all
of da 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 and stuff like that. Yeah,
right, because it's like it's no for me. Like,
it's a
it's wasteful. It's also can be bad for the environment depending on, what type of products you're using, because there are some products that you can't really wash down, and it can create, all different types of microplastics in the environment. And it's also just like, donate those to a women's shelter or something like that who can use it. I get that a lot of times, these are big beauty creators who get tons of PR packages that they'll
mm-hmm.
never be able to go through all of their makeup, but you can give it away to a friend. You can
Mm-hmm.
donate it to a women's shelter. You can, radical idea, you can do a giveaway for your followers.
Not a radical
Like,
idea.
there's just so many ways to not waste a whole bunch of makeup. And I think that there's a big difference between the dumping a whole bottle of foundation on your face versus the ones who like draw an outline and like draw an outline of the look and then transition into actually doing the look. Like,
Yeah.
there's levels to it that you can get that before and after without having to be so extreme. And speaking of that, there's so many before and after beauty videos that just, ugh. It's just because a lot of times you see them and they're like pushing their head all the way back to give them like so many double chins. They are intentionally putting wrinkles on their face or hyperpigmentation. And I'm not saying that you're problematic for doing it, but you have to realize that that can reinforce certain beauty standards. That being overweight and having a double chin is always the before. It's the ugly before, and then you transition into not having a double chin at all, and you're, snatching all of this stuff, and it's like, that reinforces something that I don't like. Or
I see what
even
you're
the
talking about.
dark spots, because a lot of black people deal with hyperpigmentation, and you're saying that having dark spots or some form of hyperpigmentation makes you ugly. It's not giving. So it's like it's very icky to me when I see those types of videos. Like, you can do transitions without it being so extreme, or if you want to be extreme with it, get extreme with the makeup look. Do a
Yeah.
creative makeup look. Go beyond your normal glam and turn yourself into an alien superstar.
I think I see what you're talking about. Is it? Yeah, I remember this challenge that was done a long while back. I don't know if you remember this. You said when you said that, it brought up an old memory in me. But like those videos, I forgot what the challenge was called, but it was like people were drawing dots on their face like it was acne, and like drawing like
Mhm.
a split in there, like, you know what I'm talking about? What was that challenge
Right.
called? Do you remember it?
I don't remember what it's called, but I've seen it so
You've
many
seen it,
times.
right? And it's like, oh, and I have the unibrow and da da da, and then they're
Mhm.
like, oh, transition to, oh yes, I'm beautiful, and it's kind of like, okay, but bitch, some people like having unibrows. Some people have acne and they can't get rid of it. Some people,
Right.
have a gap in their tooth. There's nothing wrong with that. Doesn't mean they're ugly. Doesn't mean that there's something to be ashamed of. So yeah, I see you. So what type of videos that you would never make?
Like you said, see
Afro
aforementioned.
mention.
I feel like it's one of those things where I just there's a lot of reasons why I won't do it beyond that, but I also think that I won't do any videos that puts my community in danger. And
Oh,
you know, those before and afters can be something, because if you look at the comment section in a lot of those videos, you see the most misogynistic comments ever of like, this is why you got to take her swimming on the first date and
oh
blah
yeah.
blah blah, and that's how you get the videos like, you can't use all that makeup to cover your fat body, and just like all of these alpha
Oh,
males using this as a talking point, as a leg up to just be misogynistic. Because even if this is a silly little video, you are giving a platform for people to be hateful, to be bigoted, to be misogynistic. And sometimes if you want to do a video to clap back, that's okay. But I'm never going to make it my point to consistently do videos that give hateful people a platform. Every now and then, yes, because I'm a petty person and I'm going to be continue to
I'm a
be
petty bitch who
petty.
lives for drama.
Period. Like, let me, you know what, followers, go report this because it is
Mm.
hateful. Get it deleted. Get the account banned. Do something with that. Like, there was this one video that I did that was about astrology, and the comment section just wasn't it. People were doing all different types of trauma dumping. Like, I had comments like, "Oh my gosh, I'm a Cancer and I was groomed by a Capricorn, but you seem nice though." And I'm like, "Girl, why why are you sharing that with the crowd?" Like,
Yeah.
or just like so many people were leaving very dangerous messages of just like,
Mm.
"Oh my gosh, people just hate on my sign and this is why nobody loves me and my life is worthless." All of these things that was getting really close to like seeming like suicidal ideation. And like I said before, I don't want to do anything that puts my community in danger. As somebody that struggles with mental health issues, when I follow certain people, I I'm not saying that they have to be positive all the time or this and that, but I think that there is a level of care for your community that you should be doing, especially if you have a platform. And I don't want somebody coming to my page and just seeing a whole bunch of homophobic and bigoted
Yeah.
stuff and like feeling, feeling icky about it, or coming to my page and seeing a lot of trauma dumping and um self-harm talk and all of these different things,
Hmm.
because that can be triggering to somebody. And so I don't want to have that a part of my community. I want my community to feel like a safe space for people to come and just play with makeup and creativity and explore themselves through makeup. Like all of that other stuff, I am not featuring. So I decided, you know what? If this is going to happen every time I do an astrology video, I'm just not going to do them, because I don't want to subject myself to that. And just like that, that's why I don't do the extreme before and afters with like the double chins and all of that stuff,
Hmm.
because I don't want to subject my followers, which, my followers are like 97% female. I don't
Hmm.
want to bring misogynist to my page to create this harmful environment, this toxic environment in the comments. Because yes, sometimes you can clap back, but sometimes you are just coming to social media to escape from all of that nonsense that is happening in the world, and you just want some place where you can enjoy yourself. And that's what I want my page to be for them.
Exactly. Now, so many children grow up never knowing the full scope of what their culture has contributed to society and history. So it's time for change. Let's take a pause, rewind, and remind the world just how we did that. Lorraine Hansberry was an activist and a playwright best known for her groundbreaking play, A Raisin in the Sun, about a struggling Black family in Chicago's South Side. After the play's release, Hansberry became the first Black playwright and the youngest American to win a New York Critics' Choice Award. A Raisin in the Sun, named after a line in the Langston Hughes poem Harlem, A Dream Deferred, opened at New York City's Ethel Barrymore Theater in March 1959, becoming the first play written by an African American woman to be produced on Broadway. The iconic work was then made into a 1961 film starring Sidney Poitier and Ruby Dee. And prior to Raising the Sun's fame, Hansberry, who never publicly acknowledged she was a lesbian, joined lesbian rights group Daughters of Blightus and contributed letters about feminism and homophobia to its magazine. The latter, according to LGBTQ historian Eric Marcus, host of Making Gay History podcast. Marcus notes that Hansberry didn't officially come out until nearly a half a century after her death, when in 2014 her estate unsealed diaries and other writings in which she revealed her sexuality. Hansberry died in 1965 at just 34 years old from complications due to pancreatic cancer.
Black
But
women,
Black women.
like, I love this because, I'm a scholar of African American literature. And
Hmm.
also in college, I was a dramaturg for Les Blancs, our production of Les Blancs, which was Lorraine Hansberry's last play that she didn't get to finish because of her death. And like, she is such a talented person. And like being able to go into the archives and see some of her original documents and notes and things like that was truly a marvel. So I highly recommend anybody checking out Lorraine Hansberry's work. There's also FBI files on her, and
Mm.
it's really interesting if you want to learn more about FBI surveillance of Black people, especially during like the 1960s, during the civil rights movement, Black Power movements. There's FBI files that have been, declassified and like are out there. So go check that out, because there's a lot of interesting things out there on Lorraine Hansberry.
Absolutely.
And so for my We Did That, it comes from an article in from blackpast.org, in which we learned that Black Arts West was Seattle's first Black theater and eventually became a nationally known entity across the United States. Evolving out of the civil rights Black Power movements of the 1960s, It was founded by Douglas Q. Barnett in 1969. Black Arts West functioned as a three-component program: theater, dance, and an art gallery displaying the work of local and national artists. As a division of the Central Area Motivation Program, an anti poverty agency, it was charged with getting young people involved and learning the necessary skills to survive and flourish in society. The program was able to attract a host of young people who thrived on the discipline and skills imparted by a top notch professional staff, including Lorna Richards, Eva Green, and others. Over the years, the theater mounted approximately 100 plays, and top notch directors such as Ali Woods Jr., Gilbert Moses, Jason Bernard, and Beatrice Wendy all came to direct plays for the theater. A significant number of students became professional actors who later on performed on Broadway and regional theaters, TV, and professional dance companies. After 11 years, Black Arts West closed its door in the spring of 1980.
Black people, black people,
Period.
black people, black people.
Black artists,
Black artistry.
black creatives.
Black.
Right.
Now, as always, thank you all so much for watching, and keep the conversation going down in the comment box below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and if you are listening to us on our podcast, please rate and review on whatever platform you're using. You can also follow our podcast on Instagram and TikTok at the Melanin Margin for updates on new content.
And if you like to follow each of us, our handles are at Daquon MUE.
And Andre talks a lot.
Now we will see you all next time on the Melanin Margin, where our goal is always to bring the marginalized to the spotlight in any way we can. Goodbye now.